The Crown has handed over the 5G frequencies allocation set aside for Māori to the Māori Spectrum Working Group at a signing ceremony in Wellington on Wednesday. Piripi Walker no Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga from the Māori Spectrum Working Group is with us now. Tēnā koe Piripi. Thank you so much for joining us and congratulations on the allocation.
Tēnā rā koe, Neil, e noho mai nā koe tēnā tūranga. Tēnā koutou katoa whakarongo mai nā koe mai koroma. Roti ngā huatangi, ngā whiu, ngā tāwhiri māti a tātou koutou te teirawhiti tūranga me a kiwa wai apu anui te mihi me te aroha te koutou roti ngā huatanga. Greetings, Neil, and our thoughts with everybody in te teirawhiti in yet another rainstorm.
Kia ora. Now, talk us through the Māori Spectrum Working Group. Who are they? Who sits on it? And what do you represent?
The Spectrum Working Group of the negotiating coalition, which has worked over the last decade and a half on this, the court cases have been going probably for about 40 years. It took us 20 years to get Māori television up, court cases and tribunal claims, from 83 to 2003. This one has taken 40 years, probably from 83 to this year, for there to be a real breakthrough in the ice pack and for the Crown to soften over the idea of Māori having a share of the modern cell phone data frequencies, the bedrock of all telecommunications industry. And Māori will take it into an interim receptacle. That's what happened this week. The Interim Māori Spectrum Trust, which I chair, set up underneath that negotiating team. So there is a trust. That group contains national organisations, the claimant groups, and other groups that have been in these court cases for a long time, on the Māori side of the treaty line.
Okay.
Taking the Crown on over this issue. And over the last few years, the Crown had a change of heart. And after negotiation, although Māori asked for a higher figure, the Crown said politically it would come to the party at 1/4 of the 5G frequencies. Sufficient funding to do 5 years' work, which has come over. And the handover of the 4G fund, which it created, it didn't hand over frequencies for 4G. This time it has, and they've come to Māori at no cost. And what it means is that Māori will be operating within the industry at the front end and at the highest level and won't be able to be built out, pushed aside or pushed down to being a minority shareholder.
Okay.
It was Māori with the 3G frequencies after those claims that built 2 degrees. But Māori never had sufficient wherewithal to stay in a strong position. This one, Māori can direct things and participate in all sectors: research, joint developments, innovation, training of rangatahi, and all of those things that our kaumata have dreamed of in this issue over many years.
Piripi, talk us through the forthcoming legislation that would enshrine 20% of the future spectrum allocation for telecommunications to Māori.
Yeah, well, part of the underlying bedrock of this deriving from the treaty is that the right is there as part of rangatiratanga and Article 2, and the agreement signed with the government last year was that all allocations in perpetuity at 20% in the future for, say, 6G, then 7G, automatically will come to Māori. This new legislation will do that. And it will then create a permanent spectrum entity. We have the interim one now, but it will be superseded in the legislation by a permanent one, which will have governance from all sectors of Māori and from iwi.
And when are you expecting this legislation to be introduced to Parliament?
In coming weeks.
And the signing marks a significant milestone. How challenging has it been? As you say, it's taken a very long time. How challenging has it been, and by whom, to drive these claims to this point?
Well, the early claimants were the New Zealand Māori Council and Ngā Kai Whakapūmau i te Reo, which struck the Māori language claim in the 80s, then moved into the broadcasting, radio and television claims, and also assisted the data spectrum claims in the late 90s. The Everton whānau of Ngāti Raukawa took that claim as a generic claim on behalf of all Māori at that time, and it remained in the claims. And then the negotiations began with 4G again in 2009 for a 4-year period. The Crown promised the Waitangi Tribunal then it would deliver an arrangement that would satisfy the tribunal, but they didn't do it.
Right.
In 2012. 4 years of negotiations, but the Cabinet refused to put the report down on the table.
Okay.
So this time, for the last 5 years, 2018, negotiations have continued almost daily. And last year, the memorandum was signed at Parliament, and then this year, the actual frequencies have been signed over this week.
Well, congratulations. Peter Walker from the Māori Spectrum Working Group. Appreciate your time today. Congratulations again on the signing of this agreement. A lot of mahi gone into this.